Ancient Egypt, the cradle of civilization. The lands along the Nile are dotted with countless monuments to the achievements of early Egyptian civilization. It's a treasure chest of ancient mysteries, and every new discovery raises as many questions as it answers. Why did the ancient Egyptians build enormous pyramids? Why did they mummify their dead? What were their customs and beliefs? And what kinds of lives did they lead? Ancient Egypt's history of over 3.5 millennia can be divided into 3 periods: the era of the pyramids, the era of Tutankhamun, and the era of Cleopatra. There's a difference of approximately 1,000 years between those 2 rulers, and their capital cities were several hundred kilometers apart, which resulted in 2 quite different civilizations. What were the characteristics of each period? Ancient Egypt went through repeated cycles of growth, prosperity, and decline. The first peak of Egyptian civilization was when many of the pyramids were built, including the enormous ones at Giza. The oldest pyramid in Egypt is this step pyramid, built in 2650 BC in a region called Saqqara, approximately 20 kilometers southwest of Cairo. It was the first in a long series of pyramids erected in ancient Egypt. This, the heyday of the pyramids, is called the Old Kingdom period. Huge pyramids were erected at Giza around 2550 BC, some 100 years after the Saqqara step pyramid. Of the more than 80 pyramids discovered up to now, only the vast pyramid built as the tomb of King Khufu, or Cheops, is called the Great Pyramid. It's a truly enormous structure with an internal complexity and architectural sophistication that makes it a topic of research even today. It's an invaluable window on ancient Egyptian civilization. The capital of the Old Kingdom was here in Memphis, near Saqqara, where the step pyramid is located. In the area around Memphis are the ruins of many pyramids erected during the Old Kingdom period. Each successive pharaoh or king was considered a living god. People worked hard for the pharaoh, erecting pyramids to enjoy his blessing. The civilization of the Old Kingdom lasted 500 years, going into a slow decline toward the end. The pharaohs weakened at the last, coming to be considered not gods, but only the sons of gods. And as the pharaohs lost power, the priests began to gain it. This had a major effect on pyramid construction, since pyramids were the tombs of the pharaohs. As pharaonic power declined, pyramids became smaller, and the ancient Egyptians began to concentrate more on building sanctuaries and temples. In time, pyramid construction came to an end. The rulers of ancient Egypt were finally driven from power by invading tribes, and the kingdom went through a long period of chaos. Then, in 1567 BC, the New Kingdom period began. It was a fresh start, and the magnificent glory of New Kingdom civilization lasted for about 500 years. By this time, the great age of pyramid construction had passed, and those that were left were reminders of the ancient past for people even then. The capital of the New Kingdom was Luxor, approximately 700 kilometers south of Cairo. The remains of this period are magnificent. The New Kingdom thrived, expanding to encompass more territory than any other kingdom of ancient Egypt. It stretched from the Sinai Peninsula in the north to the Nubian region in the south. This is the Luxor Temple, built for performances of the Opeto Festival, an event celebrating Amen, the sun god. The sanctuary was affiliated with the great temple of Amen at Karnak. This is the great temple of Amen. When the age of pyramids ended, pharaohs began to build temples for the worship of Amen, where they prayed for their own power and prosperity. This continued until the Ptolemaic period, when ancient Egypt came to an end. Each successive pharaoh enlarged existing sanctuaries and temples and built new ones. They were the focus of belief in Amen for approximately 2,000 years. Built on a desolate rocky plateau in the desert east of the Nile near Luxor was a vast tomb city of the dead. The Greeks later called it the necropolis of Thebes. The Valley of Kings, nestled in a range of mountains, is the site of many royal tombs. The most famous is the pharaoh Tutankhamun's. He died at the young age of 18, was mummified, and placed in a coffin richly wrought in solid gold. He rests in this tomb even today. This valley of royal tombs at Thebes contains tombs of successive kings erected over a period of approximately 400 years, beginning in 1600 BC. So far, only about 60 royal tombs have been discovered in the valley. It's highly probable that there are others, like Tutankhamun's, that have remained unplundered. This valley held not only royal tombs and funerary temples, but also hundreds and perhaps even thousands of tombs of aristocrats. The brilliant glory of the New Kingdom period began to fade around 1200 BC, when the Mediterranean world was on the rise. Then came the reign of Cleopatra. After the New Kingdom period, ancient Egypt was repeatedly invaded by other empires and suffered several periods of foreign occupation, during which Egyptians were not allowed to succeed to the throne. The last dynasty of ancient Egypt was founded around 304 BC by Ptolemy I, one of Alexander the Great's generals. He built the city of Alexandria for his capital. Named in honor of Alexander, it was renowned for its art and culture throughout the Mediterranean world. Cleopatra, the last queen of ancient Egypt, was a Greek descended from the Ptolemies. When Cleopatra died in 30 BC, ancient Egypt fell under the control of the Roman Empire. Its 3,000-year history had come to an end. When we think about ancient Egypt, it's the massive pyramids and the images of Tutankhamun and Cleopatra that come to mind. But there's so much more. To truly understand the history of ancient Egypt, it's crucial to comprehend what the people of those days thought, how they led their lives, and what their ideals were. Understanding ancient Egypt will bring it to life for you, even today.